Chuck Anderson from the Andersons, and I'm here to talk a little bit about Biochar DG. So let's start with biochar. In a typical fire situation like what we have right here, something like wood will burn, and when that burn happens, you combine the carbon that is in all living things, including wood, with oxygen. And with that combination of carbon and oxygen, you get carbon dioxide. That's what's expelled up into the atmosphere, and that's what so many scientists are concerned about global warming or climate change, is the increase in carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. When you burn a fire in your backyard, you get the same sort of reaction where you're creating carbon dioxide. If you were to burn this fire, restricting the oxygen in a process called pyrolysis, instead of getting ash like what you would get from this fire, ash is essentially all the carbon has been expelled into the atmosphere, and carbon dioxide, you essentially have minerals, just minerals remaining. If you have a fire situation where you can restrict the oxygen, such as pyrolysis, you can then create biochar. And biochar has all that carbon locked into long molecular chains that is extremely stable and can last for literally centuries, thousands of years. And there's nothing better, in my opinion, to do with this biochar than put it into the soil. And that's where that carbon belongs. A lot of this carbon was created from plant growth. And essentially you want to take that plant growth and that carbon and put it back into the soil. In this country, we've lost a lot of carbon that's been in our soil. It's essentially been through tilling and other processes released up into the atmosphere. So biochar is a stable way to sustainably put carbon back into the soil for tens of thousands of years. So we can do this. It's a nice sustainable process. The Andersons has a biochar supply, and one of the critical things when you're trying to get biochar into the soil is it can be very difficult to get it down into the soil, work it down into the soil, but we made that job much easier in a process called DG, or dispersible granule. So what we do is we take that biochar and we crush it up into a fine powder, and then we glue it back together into a nice little prill. Looks almost like a BB, a black BB. And when you expose that biochar DG, dispersible or dissolvable granule, to water, within minutes it completely breaks down and gets incorporated into the soil. So it's a simple, easy way to apply biochar and get it down into the soil and into the roots where it can do a lot of good. The other thing that's really attractive with the DG process is you're densifying the biochar. Biochar in itself can be extremely light and very difficult to apply. But if you can densify it, you can pack a lot of biochar into a smaller bag, essentially making it much easier to apply a large amount in a small area. So give biochar DG a try. And then leave your comments in the comment section, ratings below. Thanks so much.